Hello, and welcome to the newscast for Door and Window Manufacturer magazine. I'm Tara Taffera, editor of DWM. Today's top stories include various visits to manufacturing facilities from elected officials, spotlights of a few door and window companies, and a quick update on the controversial 30/30 requirements. First up, suppliers and manufacturers have been busy hosting political figures at their plants. Vice President Joe Biden visited Republic Windows at the end of April, along with two Illinois senators and Chicago Mayor Richard Daley. Biden used the visit to highlight the Stimulus Act at work. Sirius Materials purchased Republic Windows, and company president Kevin Surrey says without the Recovery Act, the reopening would not have been possible. Biden told those in attendance that what's happening in Republic gives America hope, and he credited Surrey for bringing back the former Republic workers who were members of the union and for keeping the union intact.
The thing I want to thank you for, having gone through these kinds of transitions in my years as United States Senator, seeing, quote, old industries in my state close, is you've done something that is a little unusual. You recognized, as Dick Durbin said, that the greatest asset that this factory had were the men and women who just spoke, the workers here. And instead of doing what has too often been the case in the last, I would argue, 10 to 15 years, you reached out to the most qualified workers in the world. Instead of saying, if you want to come back, I'm going to break your union, you said, come back, union and all. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
The plant has not yet reopened, but approximately a dozen rehired workers were present for Biden's visit. Workers such as Armando Robles, a maintenance employee and president of the union, told me he hopes all the employees can return. Robles also spoke at the event of how workers decided to stay in the factory when Republic closed abruptly.
Told the workers, we have to fight back. We organized our workers, my union and me, all the brave workers of Republic Windows and Doors, members of Local 1110 UE, we fight back to show the world we got the ability to change. Because when Obama get the president, he say, this is time of change.
And while Robles and a few of his other co-workers are back to work now, both he and Biden hope that many more will be rehired.
We have a couple dozen or more workers back here. I'm hoping, Kevin, I get invited back when all 600 folks are working 3 shifts here and things are really moving along. But the optimism here is palpable. It's real.
The vice president wasn't the only dignitary making a visit recently. DWM contributing writer Ellen Rogers was at DeCunic North America's Monroe, Ohio facility on May 11th when John Boehner, House Republican leader from Ohio, visited the vinyl extrusion supplier. Boehner did not vote for the Stimulus Act and said the $800 billion stimulus was supposed to be about jobs, but it seems to be more about spending. DeCunic President Mark Parrish invited Boehner to the facility to show the company's commitment to a North American presence and expansion. He added that the stimulus plan has definitely made a difference as the company has started hiring again and orders are increasing. While at DeCunic, Boehner toured the facility and participated in a town hall meeting where employees were able to ask questions of the congressman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Boehner, one of the problems we face this year is that some of our customers have been entertaining the idea of going to outside the United States to supply their lineals because there is significant cost savings there. Will we be protected by the Buy American Act where they will be required to buy lineals from United States manufacturers?
Under the stimulus bill, they can't, there is a Buy American provision. If there's stimulus money involved and you can buy it in the United States, they have to buy it here. But what'll really get interesting is there's no quality standard. Your customers look to manufacture products and they've got to decide what kind of quality they're going to sell. You'll have to work that out with your customers.
Boehner's visit to DeCunic came about when Parrish participated in a Washington fly-in hosted by the Vinyl Institute. The Northeast Window and Door Association also hosted a fly-in in April in Washington, D.C., and as part of that event, members met with representative of Senator Olympia Snow's office. Snow was responsible for the controversial 30/30 amendment. Her legislative aide met with NWDA members and gave some answers regarding how 3030 came about. If you missed that story, go to our website for all the details. While the 3030 requirements continue to stimulate debate in the industry, one window manufacturer changed to a new technology just in the nick of time. In April, I visited Dove Windows in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where General Manager Bruce Dove explained his company had switched to TruSeal's Duralite system in 2008. He says if the company had not made this change, its windows would not have met the criteria. For more on Dove and a special report on 3030, look to the May-June issue of DWM magazine. So while companies like Dove continue to invest in new technology, even in tough times, window manufacturers are also still busy developing new products. Lowen Windows is one such company. It launched a new product recently, which took 2.5 years to develop. Here to tell us more is Holly Biller. Holly?
Thanks, Tara. Company President Charles Lowen said the new product is a redesign of its double-hung window. Lowen worked very closely with dealers and architects and invested in automation to manufacture the product. In fact, Lowen developed a cellular manufacturing process in its plant which required the company to invest millions of dollars in automation. The first installation took place in a 100-year-old home in Bethesda, Maryland, and Charles Lowen traveled from Canada to see the installation firsthand.
Product that would meet the requirements of today's discerning customer, whether it be the architect or homeowner. We designed the new double hung to meet those needs. To the interior, we've reduced or eliminated the vinyl on the jam liner, so you have a non-visible jam liner. Sash lifts are an option on the product line. We've also utilized a square edge sash profile on the inside perimeter of the sash, so that your check rail you're seeing is straight and you'll be flush.
Back to you, Tara.
Thanks, Holly. Many forecasters, including Kermit Baker, AIA's chief economist, suggest the housing market has finally hit the bottom and favorable signs are emerging. Baker says home sales are bouncing around and this is usually the first sign that the bottom is near. He adds that the markets that were the first to see the downturns are starting to see more sales activity. So remember that there's nowhere to go but up. Thanks for joining us today. Remember to check our website daily for the latest news as it unfolds, and join us in June for our next newscast.